Welcome back, Action Catalyst listeners, to Overtime with Outland, where today we'll be discussing episode 415 and 416 with Matt Higgins. Matt Higgins, as a reminder, is the founder of RSE Ventures. He guested on Shark Tank for a number of seasons, a seasoned investor. He's had an incredible story and track record. A couple of the key things we pulled away from Matt's interview. Number one is the story he shared about breaking out of poverty. And it gives you some insight into how Matt's critical thinking works and how he's made decisions in life. Because in order to break out of poverty, one of the decisions Matt made in high school was actually to drop out of high school. And he did this with the intention of getting to college earlier. Now, I'm not sure that this hack still exists today, but when Matt was in high school, by dropping out, he was able to actually take his GED, use that GED and the scores he got, which were high on his GED, to get into college earlier. So as a 16-year-old, he was able to attend college, pick up a job, get his degree quicker, and get his journey going on his professional career. The second thing that we took away from Matt's interview was how to make yourself indispensable. One of the big things that is a theme in Matt's life is broadening his brand and his skill set. He started off writing and doing journalism. He moved into the role of press secretary for Giuliani. He ended up being the youngest in New York City history. Then he moved into the chief operations officer role for Lower Manhattan Development Corporation. So he had an operations background. He ended up working for 2 NFL teams in an executive capacity, and he continues to this day to expand his capacity to serve. He currently is the owner of RSE Ventures, where he invests in other companies and other opportunities. So what are you doing this year to develop your skills? What are you doing to broaden your knowledge, your brand, and your value? And that was the big theme, I think, for Matt, was adding value instead of looking for success. Another big component of Matt's interview was looking inward before outsourcing your instincts to the advice that you read in books or even podcasts like this one. And it was a really good point, because I think so many people in leadership, so many people in business can gravitate towards a certain book when they're going through a time of crisis, and maybe they just opt into the methodology in that book. There's some value to that. But what Matt expresses is that oftentimes you can look inward first and go with a gut that's been developing in yourself of how you ought to react. Doesn't mean you don't read. It doesn't mean you don't listen, but it means go in first. Lastly, the thing that we pulled away from this interview is in his book, Burn the Boats. In that book, Matt discusses the importance of scrapping your plan B. Matt stated that in all of his careers, he always burned the boat behind him before going forward. He said, when you have a plan B, it's so easy to turn the boat around. It's so easy to have an escape route that doesn't command everything in you to move forward. So in your life, ask yourself, what are those escape routes you've created for yourself that prevent you from giving something your complete buy-in? How can you burn your boats, opt out of any kind of plan B, and channel everything into what you've got in front of you? For this and more, check out Matt Higgins' episodes, episode 415 and 416. Matt Higgins, a self-made entrepreneur and Shark Tank guest judge, provides an inspiring and actionable playbook for fearless success in his new book, Burn the Boats. Go to burntheboatsbook.com to learn more about how to toss Plan B overboard and unleash your full potential. Or go to amazon.com and search Burn the Boats book to buy now.